Okay, and welcome back to Revenge Reviews. You person know what this is. I'm not gonna let this joke die. This is a funny joke.
We're committed to it, I guess.
Yeah. So this is a first for us.
What's the first?
We are recording twice in 1 month.
Yeah, that is pretty good, I guess. We've done that before. Surely in the beginning when we had more.
I do not think we did.
Okay.
But yeah, we recorded a show 2 weeks ago. Now we're doing another show. Who knows? Maybe 2 weeks from now we can get that going. I don't know.
Snip that in the bud right now. That's not going to happen. I'm starting my classes again this week, so that in no way will happen. But hey, let's hope, right?
Let's hope. Hey, we can always find an hour. Maybe. But what have you been up to?
I saw Glass.
I've been hearing mixed things.
So the weird thing is, I feel like people are going in, but they're like forgetting that M. Night Shyamalan is not a great filmmaker.
Yeah.
Even his movies that I like, even his good movies have really dumb shit in them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But people are forgetting that, so I'm I don't know what you guys were expecting. I liked it. I dug the movie.
Yeah, I think people also kind of forget that Bruce Willis is not the same actor he was back then. He doesn't care anymore.
See, that's what yeah, right. But I liked him in it. I thought he was fine. I felt like David Dunn again.
Huh.
He's not in the movie a lot. I mean, that's kind of an issue, I think. I wish he played more of a bigger part in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the movie. But again, I went in with, I had no expectations. I think that's hurting people. I think people are expecting it to be some big actiony superhero movie, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I'm yeah, I'm not Shyamalan. Even Unbreakable, which I love, has dumb shit in it. All his movies have dumb stuff. You just have to accept it, and you're either gonna go with it or not. So I liked it, but I know a lot of people are really disliking it.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched a new movie in the past couple weeks. I was sitting around. Oh no. I decided to watch Solo.
Oh yeah.
I kind of liked it.
You texted me saying it was a good heist movie. Compared to what?
Well, so it's a good heist movie in that I was expecting it to be Rogue One, which I do not like. I was super excited until I talked to you about it, and then I'm just oh. But I've talked to several people about Solo, and yeah, it's not great. It's not what I want out of a Star Wars, movie, furthering the plot along. But as far as a movie goes, it was enjoyable. I didn't hate myself afterwards. I looked at it and I wasn't I wasn't on the hate machine. I wasn't on the super love machine. It was just a really enjoyable movie.
I beg to differ.
I kind of figured, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
I think I like Rogue One better than this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Just because it was so I don't know. It was just there was no surprises. It was exactly what I thought it would be. There was no characters that I particularly liked. I mean, I liked that android in Rogue One, K2SO.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody in Solo as much as I like that droid.
You don't like Captain Phasma playing Billy D. Williams' droid?
Is that who voiced her?
That's who it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was, I swear.
No, it was not.
I thought it was weird.
I don't think you're right on this.
I could not be, but I'm pretty sure I am.
Although you were right about David Lewis earlier, so I'm questioning my reality now, so I don't know.
L337, was that her?
I don't remember the droid's name.
Oh.
I didn't care for the droid, did you?
No, as soon as like the droid just starts going, revolution, I'm just thinking, oh no, you're about to die.
Yeah,
like you're standing in the middle of a firefight, you're about to die.
And they upload her consciousness into a ship to be like a sentient, unspeaking droid. Like, what kind of a hell is she in now?
So it is not the same woman. However, the voice fucking sounds the same.
Yeah, a little bit. She has that Brianna Tarth thing going.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that, like, the Empire music is, like, propaganda music in this movie, in Solo. Like, when they're showing, like, a training video or something to join the Empire, it's the Empire song.
I didn't hate that. I just thought it was kind of cute that they were recruiting people, just like, see adventure and kill other aliens that don't look like you.
Yeah, but like I didn't care.
I understand. I completely understand why you do not like it.
I wanted more of the big worm lady. I was more interested in that.
That part was like, see that part, like as soon as it opens up, the creature designs and everything, I'm like, ooh, this is kind of neat. And the lighting was really cool. Everything was like blue and dark, and it looked kind of cool.
I liked Woody Harrelson, I guess, but he was just kind of himself in there. But
God damn it, I don't want any different from him. He's just so great.
But yeah, I liked the big worm, and I liked Woody Harrelson. That's my opinion on Solo.
Yeah, I just watching, things like Clone Wars and Rebels, I kind of already know some of the shit from the extended universe.
Right.
But the fact that that in Clone Wars or Rebels, they've never explained what those dice are. And then none of the movies have ever explained what the dice are. So, but they keep doing money shots at it, and that part was probably the only thing that I was just like really kind of peeved about, because they want to make it seem important, but they haven't explained why it's important.
Did you like Darth Maul in it?
I mean, I knew he was going to be in it. I like his character arc in the last season of Clone Wars. I mean, he has like fucking 20 seconds of screen time.
Did you like that he lit his lightsaber even though he wasn't fighting anybody?
I kind of figured, like, that was just like a whole, hey, he still has the Force, just in case any of you forgot. And like, I'm okay with certain things that movies do, especially these movies where there's like an entire television universe and comic book series and like full-on novelizations that tie into these things, to where you have to only read comic book or Star Wars comic books, novels, and watch these kids shows to know everything about Star Wars now, which is just stupid. So I kind of get it.
You're saying he remembers the Force. Has there been a Jedi character that's forgotten the Force? That's like, goes on the battlefield, like, oh, shit. How's it work again? No, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. God damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue how to do this shit.
That's all like extended universe shit. Whereas like Jedi sort of will themselves to not remember the Force. It's stupid. Star Wars is fucking stupid. If you just really think about it, it's really fucking stupid. I like it, but it's not like the best thing ever.
So now I want a movie with a Mr. Magoo type Jedi who can't do anything right and forgets how to do anything.
Oh my god. Like he's swimming and then he forgets how to force hold his breath and he just starts drowning.
I want to say Ed Helms can play him because I feel like he could play a good doofus.
Yeah.
Just that stupid look he gives to the camera, he's like biting his lip or something. Anyway, I'm done with this. I got some news, unless there's more stuff you want to talk about with Solo. I don't.
No.
I like the black lady with the afro. I think Star Wars needs more afros. I'll say that.
It does. It needs more 70s hairstyles.
Yeah. Okay, so the first bit of news, which I'm leading with the heavy stuff first.
Ooh.
Getting all the good, interesting stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a Monopoly movie starring Kevin Hart.
So, part of me was thinking, oh, this is going to be, like look at all these rich people screwing out poor people. It's just going to be The Big Short all over again, Except it's going to make you feel worse. And then you said Kevin Hart, and then it just immediately destroyed every bit of quality this movie could have had in my brain.
Has anybody ever liked playing Monopoly?
I've never played it the way it's actually supposed to be played, and apparently there's like a version of Monopoly that's called Communist Monopoly, where like the goal isn't really to beat everyone out of their money. It's more like cozying up to the government and trying to be a landlord, so you just screw the poor people.
I want to play that game.
I know, right? It sounds so fun.
It just always seems like Monopoly is literally like the last game anybody ever wants to play. Like, if there's a stack of board games, Monopoly's never getting picked, right? Like,
I mean, at this point, it's like 100 years old. Like, there's so many other games.
It's like, oh, we can play Monopoly. Let's just go throw rocks in the street. Like, I don't want to play Monopoly. I don't want to get out the board and fucking count all the money for every person. The banker, nobody wants to get shafted with that job. It just seems like nobody likes. It's something we've all played. I don't know anybody who enjoys it.
Yeah,
why would they make this movie of this?
I think that's why they, updated it to make it credit cards. You swipe the little card, so you don't have to sit there and count money the whole goddamn game.
But even then, it's not
improving anything.
Growing up, I swear to God, we had like 5 versions of it. We never played them. Eventually, we just stopped opening the boxes. We just kept them in the plastic wrap.
And they're just dusty as shit.
Yeah, I think I had the Office Monopoly under my bed somewhere.
Oh my God, why?
I got gifted it. I didn't buy it myself.
Somebody said, "Ooh, Christian likes The Office. I know. I'll buy him Monopoly."
He likes The Office, and he also hates Friends. Let's get The Office Monopoly.
Oh my God! There's only but so many ways that you can make Monopoly interesting without it just being the same fucking game.
Out of all the games you could do, another Clue movie that has interesting characters.
Yeah, they don't do whodunits really much anymore. Fucking do Clue.
Do Clue. Well, they did Battleship for some reason, but even that I can kind of.
Down Periscope's like the best version of that, and it doesn't really hold the test of time.
Right. Like just so many other board games you could have done.
Oh,
but Monopoly.
Life could have been heartbreaking.
What's wrong with you? Why do you want a movie that's a heartbreaking version of Life or a cold capitalist version of Monopoly? What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh my God, can you imagine if Monopoly and Life were combined?
God. This comes with a pack of razor blades also.
Yeah, it comes with a game, down the street.
I don't know. But you're not going to watch this? I mean, anything can be interesting, but when I hear this,
yeah.
I have no interest.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Jumanji yet, but apparently that was really good, and Kevin Hart was in it, and The Rock.
Do you like Kevin Hart? I'm not a big Kevin Hart guy.
I don't like Kevin Hart, but I like The Rock for no fucking reason now, because he hasn't been in a good movie in I don't know how long.
You don't like Rampage?
Didn't bother.
I didn't see it either, but I felt like maybe you would have seen that. I don't know.
I really only go to the movies now for, the Marvel movies. and Star Wars.
Didn't you see Pirates 5 in the theater or something?
I did, but that was back when I was in the Coast Guard and I was stranded on a boat for fucking weeks.
I will never not bring that up.
And, you know, that's justified because god damn does that movie not fucking... It doesn't do anything good. I was going somewhere and I lost it, but so did that movie.
Okay, so they're making another Ninja Turtles movie.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it's something people like, right? I mean, it's stuck around this long.
Yeah! I mean, I tried going back and watching the old cartoons. I tried going back and watching the old movies. They're not good.
You go to hell.
Like Ninja Turtles 2 is one of the most accidentally funniest movies I've ever seen. Because the Foot Clan does not know how to use doors, yet they smash through every fucking ceiling and wall in sight.
I still like both those first two movies. Shut up. It's not good. How dare you? How dare you? Didn't they just make one of these movies? Like, didn't one come out last year?
You know, I want to say it feels that way, but I'm pretty sure the TMNT 2 was like 2.5, 3 years ago by now.
Maybe? Did you see it?
No. I didn't even see the first one.
It was fine. I mean, they have really weird choices.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Okay. And I heard supposedly that one's better because it's more ridiculous. I don't know. Look, I like the Ninja Turtles. It's something from my childhood. I like the characters. If they do another one, fine, I'll probably see it. I didn't care for the Bay movies that much, so I didn't check out the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I might rent it at some point. I don't know, but...
I'm sure it'll be on Netflix or HBO at some point.
Or given away in a gas station if you get, like, two gallons over or something. But, but I'm down for what would they do, is what I'm getting at. Like, what...
I mean, apart from Shredder, I don't really know any fucking Ninja Turtles villains.
What tone are they going for? They're not going to do super dark, because nobody really wants that. Like, they're trying to market this towards kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they already did super wacky and goofy with that TMNT 2 Out of the Shadows, like, where could they go with it? I mean, they're not going to, but it'd be cool if they brought back, like, the masks, like the costumes, the physical costumes.
Yeah, that would probably be the only way that I'll actually go to the theater to see it.
But I don't know what they're gonna do. Did you see the I think it was called TMNT,
the cartoon,
the computer animated one?
I saw little bits, and it felt more like Ninja Turtles than anything that I saw from the Bay movies.
The only thing that I don't like about the original movies is that they're all basically like the same person.
Yeah.
except for Raphael, he's like the moody one, but like if that's one thing I do like is as a Ninja Turtle, I'm saying progress with finger quotes because it's turtles eating pizza, doing karate. But like, as it's gone on, each iteration, I think they get better at like defining each character as its own thing, which I think is good. So if they keep that around, I'll probably check it out. I don't know. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
God, I haven't seen it in so long. I don't really.
You don't even know. Did you not grow up with this?
I did. I was fucking obsessed with it, but it's been a while since I even thought about Ninja Turtles. Like, it was pretty much like with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and SWAT Cats. Like, I pretty much had my fill by the time those things got off the air.
What's a SWAT Cat?
It is a cartoon about a bunch of humanoid cats who fly around in a jet and wield guns. It was.
If I asked your favorite small soldier, you'd have an answer really goddamn quick, wouldn't you?
I need to watch that again because I love Small Soldiers.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
It's a fucking good movie. It holds up. I mean, it's a great Gremlins ripoff.
Yeah. Well, it's not a ripoff. Same director.
Well, I tend to think he ripped off his own movie.
Did he do that?
I'm pretty sure he did. Because it's like the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if... yeah, maybe. Okay, so next bit of news. They're remaking, or not remaking, they're making another Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, and doesn't it take place in like the original like world?
Yep.
I find it so funny because they were banking like hell for the sequel to the remake to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like they greenlit it before it was even released. You know, like they do with half the movies that bomb.
Right.
They just go ahead and greenlight a sequel to, you know, probably get hype for the first one because they don't have like a whole lot of faith in it. And obviously that didn't pan out. So they probably took the script, retooled it to work with the Bill Murray one so that they can kind of have it going. But I don't know. I mean, am I wrong, or is that probably what happened?
I don't believe so. Done by Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman.
That doesn't mean that it's going to be good.
No, see, that's the thing. I completely agree with you, right? No, everybody's like, well, his dad made it. Like, Jason Reitman makes very different films from his father.
Yeah. I
love Jason Reitman. Like, Young Adult is one of my favorite movies.
He did do that. Oh, Young Adult's a fucking good movie.
Great filmmaker. He's done Young Adult, Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, and then Tully.
And they wanted him to do Ghostbusters. Like, all those movies are about feeling bad and bleakness and cruel realities of the world.
The fact that he's doing it though is the only reason I'm kind of into it. I mean, I love the first Ghostbusters movie. Don't get me wrong. I really like that movie. But I have like no care for like. Have you heard what the plot is? It's like about 4 teenagers.
Oh. Oh.
It sounds like it's gonna be like that Goosebumps movie or something. I think it's like 4 teenagers. And the original Ghostbusters are supposedly in it, but it's not about them. You know what I mean?
Oh, so like they're sort of passing off the torch sort of deal?
Yeah, and part of me is like...
Why?
No, but I think it makes me feel bad for the girl Ghostbusters one they did a few years ago, because I feel like if they had done that for them, maybe people would have liked that movie better.
I mean, I feel bad for them because, you know, this was like an opportunity for all of those people to kind of get into the action world, like especially like fucking what's her name from SNL, you know, the one that's still on SNL.
Still on SNL.
Huh?
2 of them are still on SNL.
Not Leslie Jones.
She's not on Saturday Night Live anymore?
No, she is on there, but like the other one. What's her name?
Oh, Kate McKinnon.
Who?
The lesbian, Kate McKinnon.
Yeah. That's like an opportunity for her to like really break out. Like, I don't know if Leslie Jones has like the, you know, like the real acting props for movies. Probably for television.
She was the best one in that movie.
Yeah. I know. And I stand by what I just said. Like, I think she's going to be good for television, just probably not movies.
I don't, it's just, but like, it seems like the only reason why they did a full-on reboot as opposed to passing of the torch for the females, it seems it was because Bill Murray didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But if he's doing it now for these kids, it's like, you could have saved those girls a lot of problems if... Because, again, I feel like if that female Ghostbusters did a passing of the torch thing, I feel like people would have liked it a whole lot more.
Yeah. I mean, it still wouldn't have helped that third act.
But again, I feel like if it was a sequel, they wouldn't have maybe done some of those choices. Cause
yeah. It probably would have been a completely different story then.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been a little bit stronger. And it's unfortunate, but... Yeah, if it's just a bunch of teenagers... And did you see the trailer they released?
I didn't know they released one.
The movie's not even fucking being made yet, but yeah, there's a teaser trailer where... I didn't ask you to see it, because it doesn't matter, but...
Is it just like 5 seconds or something?
Yeah, it's just a barn, and you know, like the spooky music in the beginning of the first movie, where it's like,
Yeah.
woo. It does that, and then like it goes into the barn, and then the tarp lifts up, and you see the Ecto-1, and then that's it.
Man, that's what somebody filmed in their fucking garage.
It just seems like it's gonna be like a Stranger Things mixed with Goosebumps. Like, ooh,
Ooh,
teens getting covered in gook.
I do not want to watch that.
Well, that's what it is.
Because like I
so.
like Stranger Things the first season, but I have no desire to go watch the second or third season, or really even to rewatch the first season.
I like season 2.
I got everything out of it the first time around.
Do you not like the characters?
I don't know. It's just the entire thing didn't really like. I got everything out of it the first time, and I don't know, I kind of feel like they're just gonna keep stringing me along with each season.
Have you gone back to Fargo? Have you watched any more of season 3?
No, I've been busy.
You're just disappointing me on all fronts right now.
I don't know.
Stranger Things 2 is fine. I liked it. I think you should watch it if you like season 1, but whatever. I'm not. The point is, the new Ghostbusters, whatever. I like the original Ghostbusters enough that I will see this movie if they're in it and they're playing those characters because I know what they're up to now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care about a bunch of teens finding their equipment and fighting ghosts in their small town. Because it doesn't look like it's New York. It looks like it might be like a small town or something. I don't know. We'll see, right?
Yeah. I mean, when's it supposed to be released?
I think next year.
Ooh. I mean, they do have a whole year, and it takes about 4 months to, or 3 months rather, to finish a whole movie, and probably another one of reshoots.
Well, he's supposedly been working on this script in secret for a while, so I don't know. But again,
I don't know if I would put my faith in that statement.
But I do trust Jason Reitman. I like his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it might be a bad idea for me making a big studio film, but I trust him enough as a filmmaker that I mean, you like Tully, right?
Yeah, I did.
So I trust him. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I trust him as a director. I just... The studio is the one that I don't trust, because I feel like they were the ones that made the female one bad, with all the choices that they said had to be in the movie.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I mean, it's Sony. They suck.
Yeah, that's the studio that I don't trust.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So for the last bit of news is the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. I don't know what that means. Is that good or bad?
I feel everything watching the trailer as I did when I watched Homecoming. I was like, this looks like a good Marvel movie. It doesn't look like it's gonna be like one of the best ones, but I know I'm gonna enjoy myself, because Marvel, aside from like, Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World, they haven't really let me... Oh, and Age of Ultron. Haven't really let me down. That's 3 movies in like a 20-movie run.
I don't even think those movies are bad per se.
They're just not as good as the others.
They're not unwatchable. There's good stuff in there.
Yeah. And, like, but that's the thing, though. 3 movies in, like, 20 that have let me down. That, I still, in Marvel, I trust.
You know the best part of Iron Man 2?
Where they stop the movie to do a commercial for the Avengers?
No, it's when Sam Rockwell goes out on stage and his little dance.
Oh, yeah.
He does a little jig.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, I really like the trailer. What do you think about Mysterio?
I mean, Mysterio is like... I mean, is he... Are they trying to spin him as, like, a space good guy? Because I always thought he was a villain.
He is. I especially because his whole character is about, like, illusion and tricking people. I think it's, like, you can't trust anything in the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Like, he's trying to sort of do something... Like, he's making, like, the big water monster, and he's doing something for praise or something.
That's what I think. I think he's, like... He's basically Syndrome, I think, from Incredibles.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, and I like Jake Gyllenhaal. And
yeah, I do too.
the costume looks sweet. It looks comics. I mean, it's not exactly comics accurate, but it looks good.
Yeah, and like I don't want exactly comics accurate. I want something that is gonna look somewhat practical and not stupid as shit.
I really like when that Flash character is like saying how much he loves Spider-Man, but then he's like, "Oh, what's up, dickbag?"
I know, that was so funny.
That's like classic Spider-Man. Like the guy cannot catch a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like that's what I love about like the Marvel Spider-Man stuff is that Flash Thompson's supposed to be like a cool jockey character, but jocks really aren't cool anymore. Nerds are. So of course he's a disc jockey and he knows all the cool shit, and he's still a dick to Spider-Man. I'm fine with all this.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. Some people are complaining about the fact they think it like spoils Endgame.
Just knowing the fact that this movie was coming was spoiling Endgame.
Did anybody genuinely think Spider-Man was dead?
Seriously. They're not going to kill any of their cash cows.
Right. Just come the fuck on with that. I like this cast a lot. I really like him. I really like his Aunt May, Marissa Tomei.
Mm-hmm.
All of his friends, like his chubby friend Ned, I like.
And the fact that Nick Fury just knocks him out.
Yeah, that's good. I like the blonde girl. I think she's supposed to be Betsy Brandt. She was in the first one briefly. She's like in the morning announcements.
Oh, okay.
But she's the actress from. Did you see the Nice Guys?
I did.
She's the daughter.
Oh.
And I thought she was really good.
She was.
She gets, like, more stuff to do in this one, I hope, because she's in the trailer. So, yeah. The only thing I'm like iffy on, and it's not like a bad thing, but like, is there any reason why they couldn't have just made that character either have her be Mary Jane or have her be a different person altogether?
Yeah. I mean, they are wishy-washy on MJ, but I mean, I like the MJ character. I think she's spunky, and I think she's kind of cool.
You guys know the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like her a lot too, but just have her be a different character. Like, I mean, her name isn't Mary Jane, I get it, but like, they keep calling her MJ. Just stop. Just have her be her own thing. If you want to do Mary Jane down the road, fine, but have this character.
Yeah, I know. I want to say me and you talked about that when we saw Homecoming.
Yeah, probably. But again, I do like the character, so I'm not like that upset about it. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah, I know, and I still have that complaint, but I'm more forgiving of it because she is a really cool character.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I'm psyched. I'm into it. It made me realize how much I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I liked him before. He's my favorite Spider-Man, I think. But I didn't realize how much I liked that first movie until I saw this trailer, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like super excited right now.
Yeah, let's see, is Homecoming on HBO?
I don't know.
Because I want to watch it again, because I really love the Vulture in that movie.
Yeah, like...
He was so terrifying.
The thing is, like, as much as I love comic books and I love superhero stuff, I'm legit burned out on comic book movies.
I know.
Like,
me too.
I don't feel any excitement. I don't buy them like I used to. I'm just worn out. So when one can get me excited again, it's because I really like that character.
Yeah. Like, I'm more excited about Captain Marvel because, it's another Marvel movie. Right. And, you just know that it's going to be good.
Right.
You know it's going to be fun. And that's why I'm excited about it. It's like, I've only read, maybe 2 comics that feature Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I don't really know anything about her. I've read more Miss Marvel than I have Captain Marvel.
Well, the thing you know about Captain Marvel is that she's a slut.
That's why she wore that really, really uncomfortable costume.
Yeah, that's her BSM or BDSM outfit. Anyway, I feel really bad that I made that joke just now.
I know, it was a little weird. I softened the blow for you. I softened the blow for you.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was funny.
She looks like a slut.
Yeah, why did I think that was funny?
I don't know. I softened it up for you. Oh my god. Because like that's one of the funny things about like the first issue of Miss Marvel is she wants to be Captain Marvel so bad she transforms into the old terrible costume and she's trying to walk around in this skin tight latex high heeled thing. She's going like, why did you wear this?
Oh man. Oh, okay.
Well, that's enough enjoyment. Now to talk about this movie.
So the reason I thought, like, I was, okay, it was funny to me because I was thinking that, like, anybody who knows me, I'm not sexist at all. Like, I genuinely think
I know.
that, but there are people who like that. So me saying she's a slut was me making fun of, like, fanboys, but I'm thinking nobody who listens to this knows me like you do, so no one's gonna get that. They're gonna think, where the fuck did that come from?
I know. Yeah, and you haven't done anything like that on any of the shows we've done. Just suddenly out of the blue, she's a slut. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh man, that was funny.
So the movie we watched.
Excuse me while I come down from having fun.
Yeah.
So, let me go back through the text messages I sent you because it's pretty much my notes for this movie.
This was your first time watching it.
It was my first time watching it.
Did it live up to your expectations?
So I was expecting a bad movie. The double toasted Corey Coleman. He was when it came out. He was like, I mean this isn't like the worst one I've seen, but it was better than BVS. And in a way, that's true. But god damn, is that not high praise? Oh, this movie hurt.
It's better than BVS because it's shorter.
It is. This is the shortest movie they have so far.
It's mercilessly just 2 hours. I wrote in my notes. I wrote 2 hours and a little smiley face because I was happy.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say the things that I liked about it.
Okay.
I'm glad Billy Crudup was thrown a bone.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Manhattan needs a job. The actors that are in it, I like the things that they've done outside of this movie. Although I've never seen a Gal Gadot movie, so I can't really speak on that one.
I liked her in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph 2. But everyone else I enjoy. Okay. I like Ezra Miller outside of these things. He just broke my heart in Stanford Prison Experiment. Ben Affleck is just, he's awesome now. Like, all these guys, J.K. Simmons is one of the best actors working today.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who that black guy is, though, who played Cyborg.
He's in the most recent season of True Detective.
Oh, I need to see it.
No, you don't.
No?
No, you saw season 1, right?
Nope.
Then why would you want to see the new one?
Because I'm hearing good... I've always heard good things about True Detective. I just never felt like a big push to watch it.
If you watch True Detective before you finish Fargo, I'm going to be pissed. I'm telling
you right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, people tell me I need to watch The Wire, but it's just too fucking far away now.
You know what? I feel the exact same way. I tried to watch The Wire, but I felt like no push to do it. Like, and, it's not every show starts out great. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I felt like no energy I watched the first, 4 episodes, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, like, a couple years ago, I pretty much when everyone was telling me that The Wire is, like, the greatest thing, I went back to go watch The Shield, which was, like, the poor man's version of The Wire. And the first season's good. Like, I watched it, and I went, this is a good show. But it's just the fact that it was in... That they made that season while 4-3 was still the standard, it really dated it, and it just really kind of felt like a slog to get through it. And goddamn, The Wire is just, it's too old for me to be watching it with all the good television that I need to catch up on.
Exactly. I feel you. So back to this.
So yeah, we're done talking about good things. So, you know, Steppenwolf stole the Allspark. And I say Steppenwolf's design looks cool, but fuck, once, like, as you keep going into it, you just start feeling bad, and you just start shitting on everything, and I'm just like, Steppenwolf looks fucking stupid. Like, everything about this is stupid.
This is my second time seeing.
Ugh.
And yeah, I saw this in theaters.
Oh god. Yeah, you have no room to talk, Mr. fucking Pirates 5.
But like, you know, some movies. Okay, so I had figured, like, I didn't like it the first time, but there's been some time in between now and then.
Maybe you've warmed up, you know?
I'm like, I know what to expect. Maybe I can at least enjoy how terrible it is, and I could latch on to something. This was a miserable experience for me. I got no enjoyment out of this.
Nothing happened. Like, everything that happened had no reason for it.
This time watching it, like, the first time I watched it, I was angry. This time watching it, I just felt bad for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt guilty. I felt like I was watching a snuff film starring Amy Adams. Like,
ugh.
I just felt terrible for her. And, like, Diane Lane, I was just like, oh, these poor actors. Oh, man. Like, Ciarán Hinds, I like him a lot. I'm glad he got a paycheck.
Yeah, and Ciarán, is it Kieran or Ciarán?
I think it's Ciarán.
He has the hardest job out of anybody in this movie. He's not acting against anyone, you know? And, I mean, I think for what he was given, he did fine. Because he's Ciarán Hinds, he's gonna do fine. But he just sounded so bored.
All the actors, I feel like, just had dead eyes, like strippers.
They were acting against nothing. Like, it reminded me so much of Clone Wars. Or Attack of the Clones, you know? Because none of these actors are really acting up against anything, because it's mostly all CGI. Like, if, you know, when they're talking amongst each other, you can tell that it kind of feels like a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, minus the terrible dialogue that somebody was paid to write.
Right.
But when they're fighting, it feels so much like Attack of the Clones.
Like, the one scene that made me angry was, because most of the time I just felt, like I said, I felt sad for these people.
Mm-hmm.
But the scene when, like, Martha Kent is talking to Lois Lane in the Daily Planet, like,
yeah,
or something, because I was like, I was angry because I was like, these are two, like, because I like Man of Steel.
I know.
I like that cast.
And I haven't watched it since these movies have been coming out. So I don't know if my position has updated.
Right.
But, you know, last time we talked about it, the last time I saw it, I warmed up to it and I rather enjoyed it for what it was.
Right.
I don't know if I can go back and watch it now.
But I just mean, like, I like that cast. Like, yeah. I like that version of Ma Kent. I like this version of Lois Lane. It's a bummer that, like, they're just wasted. Like, we're not going to get any more movies with this. Like, Amy Adams is a top-notch actress, and you got her to Lois Lane, and you did nothing.
She had nothing to do in this movie.
And the scene with her and Martha talking, I'm like, there's, like, some genuine acting here. It's not great.
Yeah.
But there's genuine
They're trying.
Acting.
They're fucking trying.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's so angry. I'm so mad that, like, you just wasted any good potential you had.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Momoa, you know, being Khal Drogo, you can see him acting his ass off in Game of Thrones. But goddamn, in this?
Well, he's having a good time in this. I mean, good for him, I guess.
Woo, yeah! You know,
The opening with, like, the DCEU, like, Marvel style opening.
It pissed me off because it sounded like the music from the Justice League cartoon. And like, oh, it just reminds me so much of things I like.
It was just funny to me because I'm like, number one, their Aquaman doesn't look anything like this.
Yeah. He
Green
looks like
Lantern-
the blonde hair, blue eyed Arthur Curry.
Right. The Green Lantern isn't set up yet, and these movies aren't even like going to be made anymore. So it was like, man, they're just so unaware. Like that DCEU opening at the beginning, it's like a man in like a war movie who has both of his legs blown off and doesn't realize he's dying yet.
It's the Saving Private Ryan guy picking up his arm.
Right. Everyone else is aware that he's not going to make it, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to go home and see my wife. And it's like, yeah, you're going to see your wife all right. But we're all aware he's going to die. That's what that opening felt like to me.
Like, and the fact, they did the whole Green Lantern thing. It's not that they teased it. That was like a full-on Green Lantern, no mistake, because the ring was just like front and center when the character dies, and it just flies away. And it's like, you have the audacity. And not only audacity, because that's not where, like, that's like the first part of the audacity. But like 2 points, like this movie does the classic Superman theme, and it does the Tim Burton theme for, and it's only for like a hot 5 seconds, just enough for you to go, hey, and then it's over, and it's going into the new music, which doesn't match because it's clearly a different tone and a different. They're completely different.
Just enough to taste the mist of piss in your mouth. Just enough to be like, what is that piss? And then it's on to something else.
Yeah. I don't know if I liked anything truly about this movie.
So I like Alfred.
They give him nothing to do.
Even though he has nothing to do and he's the same age as Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I thought so the opening song with like the images of everybody being sad about
it reminded me of Watchmen. I'm just thinking, why aren't I watching Watchmen right now?
But I was thinking like that scene could have been very effective if anybody cared about this Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie acts like anybody ever liked him when nobody ever did. Like,
I just yelled at the screen like, who are you? I don't know who you are.
And Batman vs. Superman had a whole plot point about like a court getting together because of how much we just hate Superman.
Yeah, like how much we cannot trust him because he is a being with superpowers and he just does nothing. Like he has no jurisdiction.
And he's not even like a super fun guy.
Yeah, yeah. We don't know if he's like actually a good person on the side of truth, justice, and all that other stuff. But quite frankly, this movie just pretends that everybody loved him, like he was fucking George Reeves, or what was his name? Was that his name?
It's Christopher.
Christopher Reeves. Excuse me. We're pretending that he's Christopher Reeve and not like dead face, fake egg frying Superman.
You need to get off the egg thing, but like
it was just weird. It was just weird.
When he died in BVS, it felt more like an uncomfortable relief, like when a old loved one dies and they're not suffering anymore, but we can't talk about, we're actually relieved that they're dead. It felt like that. Like everyone's like, thank God we don't have to worry about that Superman anymore. But
yeah.
And like the thing is, like Zack Snyder, he's not a great filmmaker, okay?
No.
But I genuinely think it's a bummer that he didn't get to finish, because this movie isn't fully him. It's like him and Sweden kind of. But I feel like his Superman arc I would have been interested to see, because I feel like there is nuggets of something there. Mm-hmm. Because like I really like the opening of this movie, even though it was distracting because the mustache was CGI. Mm-hmm. But I really actually like the kids asking Superman, "What do you like about Earth?" And he can't answer it. Like, he has, like, no answer for them.
Yeah, like, you can tell that the movie is wanting you to like Superman, because we didn't really before.
Well, no, I mean, but, like, the idea that Superman doesn't actually like Earth, that the fact that maybe he only likes Lois and his mother, he only likes the people that are nice to him, but maybe he doesn't feel any attachment. I love that idea. And that,
Superman
like,
is Doc Manhattan.
Right. But if these movies were about that, like if he slowly became the Superman we knew, that could have been fascinating.
Yeah, and it would have made that arc from Man of Steel and BVS make sense.
Yes.
But we're not gonna get that.
Yeah, and he's basically like, they try to make him like the Christopher Reeve Superman when he comes back from the dead in this movie. Where he's like making jokes, and he's like, after he tries to murder the Justice League, but after that he's like making jokes and like, oh, I'm about truth and justice, even though he was never about that before.
Yeah, dude, that line just goes into this giant dumpster-sized file of why did they give the okay for them to say this? I know truth, and I'm also a big fan of justice. Ugh. It was funnier in Superman Returns when they said truth, justice, and all that other stuff.
When he said that in this movie, Batman should have turned to him and been like, when?
Like, you 9/11s our city.
What was truthful or just about that, buddy?
You 9/11 Metropolis, man.
But again, even then, that could have been something I could have been into. Again, if the idea is that Superman really only cares about the people in his life, but not about humanity as a whole, that's fascinating. Why didn't they do anything with that? Because
the people want a likable Superman, and they don't want to do the legwork to take you there. They want to give you the instant likable Superman, but they can't because he's not likable to begin with. You got to earn that shit.
And it supposedly, like, Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck might not even be doing it anymore, and it's a bummer.
Well, Ben Affleck is fucking fired.
Henry Cavill, I feel like he could have been a great Superman if he had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ben Affleck's fired.
That's
because he became such an alcoholic that they couldn't rely on him showing up to set.
He feels like he's another character that feels different in this. He's acting like, again, like him and Superman were friends. It's like,
it was weeks ago
that he tried to beat this man to death.
Yeah.
That was his whole goal in BVS, was to brutally murder Superman in cold blood.
Why did you say that name?
He makes a comment in BVS, where he's like, if there is even a 1% chance that he is a threat, we have to take it as a certainty.
Yeah.
And then he says something similar in this, where he's like, hey, if there's even a small chance that resurrecting a corpse will help us, we need to do. I'm like, what? He's so weird.
I know, and it's not like, the whole 1% he could be a bad guy. It's, we know for a fact that the last person who tried to do this in the ship, it turned out bad. So why are we doing it again?
Also, it's a guy I don't even like.
Yeah, like did you forget what happened like weeks ago? I know, it's so frustrating.
And Ben Affleck is not good in this movie.
No.
Like, there are scenes where he kind of seems like the scenes where he's getting the crew together, I feel like he does kind of care.
But like the dialogue's also not good for them. Like it feels like the prequels.
Right.
Like, you can get as many good actors as you can, but goddamn it, they cannot make that shit work.
Cyborg, I don't care.
He looks like a ball of tinfoil that someone tried to stretch back out.
He looks terrible. His character is not interesting.
And his head also seems to float, slightly off of his body for a few moments, and it's really weird when you see it.
I like the Teen Titans Go version better.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is fine. I don't have anything really bad to say about her in this movie. I mean, although, like, her character arc seems to ignore the fact that the Wonder Woman prequel is going to take place between this and the first Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
Flash is... The first time I saw the movie, I liked Flash. I thought Ezra Miller was funny. When I watched it this time, his humor was grating to me.
Yeah, because he's acting like he's fucking 15.
Yeah,
I expect that shit to come from Spider-Man. I don't expect that shit to come from somebody who is qualified to be a forensic investigator. And it's like they give him that at the end of the movie, just like, oh well, I mean Barry Allen was a forensics guy. Let's just fucking give it to him. He doesn't seem to be smart enough. Like there's a one scene in his little hovel where like I built all of this crap and blah 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 techno jargon. That's about it.
I built all this stuff. Don't ask me how. Just believe that I did it.
And you know, and it goes back. This whole thing goes back to the one constant I have about all of these movies.
They suck.
None of it seems earned.
Right.
None of this is earned. Like it's obvious that the people making the movie know that because they have to stop the movie to give backstory on a character you have yet to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is Arthur Curry the way he is? Why is he not the king of Atlantis? Oh, well, let's stop the movie for 5 minutes and explain it.
And I haven't seen Aquaman, but I'm like 90% sure these movies are so poorly thought out that nothing will match up.
Yeah. And then it's already the case.
I feel like nothing set up with Aquaman as a character will correlate to Aquaman. Like, you know how that scene when Amber Heard like makes all the water leave the room so they could talk to each other?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like sure that that's not the case in Aquaman. I think they just talk to each other in the water.
Jesus.
Why does Flash run like a desperate fat kid?
Yeah, he runs like so weird. Like every time like they would do the slow motion thing, I would just go, why is he running like that? I know Ezra Miller's like an athletic person. Why is he running that way?
He's running like someone who's never ran a day in his life.
Yeah, like he has muscles. I've seen him do stuff. Why is he doing that?
I like Ezra Miller, and I believe he could be a good Flash, but he was so annoying. Like every scene with him, he had some unfunny joke to make.
Yeah, the CW Flash is better than this.
I've never seen that. So
and you know, and I like the CW stuff. I keep saying I like the CW Justice League. It's corny, it's cheesy, but it's fun, and it's exciting at times, and it has like you feel like it's a comic book show. At no point in this did I feel like these characters came from a comic book.
I feel like they came from some dark recess of Zack Snyder's mind.
They came from a Frank Miller book.
Yeah, I just wasted potential. That's all I have to say about it. Like, did you like J.K. Simmons' Gordon? Why do you have that weird wig on?
Yeah, he got so fucking bulked up and huge to only wear a trench coat the whole movie.
I totally forgot about that. What was the deal with that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Because he got hulked up, like veins popping out, like no fat on his body to wear a raincoat.
Or was he just doing that for his personal life and we all mistook that?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know because all those pictures were just paired with Justice League ads.
He didn't really. I mean, I'm sure
he had what, 2 scenes?
Yeah.
And he didn't have anything to do. We just like, hey, Gordon exists. I know.
I do like that a big plot point was grave robbing.
Do you?
That was morbidly funny to me. Like, there's like the famous scene when Superman comes back in the comic books where they open the casket and it's empty.
Yeah.
I like how in this one it was just his dead body.
Yeah.
No, there's no mysticism. He died, and we're gonna resurrect a corpse because we think that's the only thing we can do. And I also like when they dumped him in that puddle of piss that his like picture of Jonathan Kent went into the piss water. I'm like, and they ruined his picture of his father.
Yeah, it seemed as if anything going into that pool would create like this weird monster. Because like that's apparently that's what happens when you merge human and Kryptonian blood. You know? So
right.
so what what happens when you put in a picture? I don't know. Apparently nothing. I don't know how this pool seems to work. Are they going to just set this up as the Lazarus Pits? Right? I know, right?
I didn't even think about that. God damn it!
And it just popped in my head that that's exactly what it is. This is the Kryptonian ship contains the Lazarus Pit.
And there's there's just stuff that just doesn't make sense. It's just cheap. Like when he goes into the thing of piss, he's in a suit. When he comes back alive, he's missing a shirt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like just cheap stuff like that.
Maybe he flexed so hard it ripped off.
Is he just gonna go back to being Clark Kent? They had a funeral for Clark Kent at the end. His body was there. It wasn't like in the comics when they just said oh, he was buried under rubble. Oh, we didn't find him. We saw Clark Kent get buried.
Yeah, we didn't have a funeral for Kal-El. We had a funeral for Clark Kent.
Yes, I don't... Stupid bullshit, man. I just...
Oh. And now I feel so strongly for my dislike of this movie that I'm just looking back through my text messages and Cyborg's dad, it's explained that he recognized the mother was it Mother Box? Yeah, the Mother Box as an energy data matrix. What? How does a human recognize alien technology to be precisely what it is? I know. And everything seems to happen in this movie because the script demands it. There's no flow. There's no, this thing happened, therefore this thing will happen, therefore that thing will happen, which will lead into this thing. It all just seems to go because the script says so.
These mother boxes are so dangerous that if one guy gets them all, he's gonna open up a portal to whatever the fuck he was doing.
He's gonna bring about Galactus.
They keep them all on Earth.
Yeah, it's like the Infinity Stones were separated way better.
And we see them fighting with Green Lantern, so they have connection with people in space. They kept them all on the same fucking planet.
Yeah, the Infinity Stones were kept at different corners of the fucking galaxy.
Right.
You had to work to get them. And this guy was just well, I guess I'll just take a trip to Greece now. What were they expecting to happen?
I don't they do not explain at all why he's doing it now.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like it's because Superman died. What about the years before Superman was even on the planet?
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to, I'm reminded of, when Superman as a child does the Superman pose.
Mm-hmm.
If none of this shit took place before then, how would he, what's the significance of him doing this particular thing? Shazam apparently exists in the 90s.
No, the new movie coming out?
Wait, does it? I thought it did. Or is it just nostalgic for that?
No, it takes place after, because they talk about Superman and Batman existing.
Well, there you go. These things seem to happen because they just say it does. They're not really, coming up with a backstory for every choice that they make.
Right.
They're not even just in their own minds, just going, what would be cool is if a Green Lantern was the only alien on this fucking planet, and it was just a bunch of cavemen with swords and shields.
And gods.
It just makes no sense.
And I could get beyond a lot of stuff as long as the characters make sense, and they don't. I don't care about this Superman. This Batman is totally different from the last movie. I love when Wonder Woman is you didn't kill him, Bruce. And I'm nah, but he really wanted to.
Yeah, to until their moms had the same name.
Yeah, he really wanted to kill that man with his bare hands.
Like, yeah, it's not. He didn't have a kryptonite gun. He had a fucking spear. That shit was personal.
He made kryptonite mist. He wanted to murder him so badly. I also like that he buys Martha Kent's farm at the end only after Superman is alive.
Yep. Apparently they weren't that good of friends. They weren't that good of friends.
Why didn't he help her before? Oh God.
And he just bought a bank. No big deal. He just bought a bank.
It's like he couldn't help her before Superman came back to life. He had to just wait until, oh well, now that your son's back, he might beat me to death, so I better get in his good graces. Was that Bruce Bolton in the beginning at the theft, the heist in the beginning that Wonder Woman stops?
I don't know who that is.
Ramsay's dad in Game of Thrones.
I barely remember that character. There's so many characters in Game of Thrones.
I just remember that when the trailer for Justice League came out and they had clips of the heist, that opening heist, and everybody's like, "Oh, who is it? Is it Black Mask?" It's like, no, just Bruce Bolton.
Just some guy.
Just a guy.
Yeah, and they made him seem more important because he was talking about, oh, I'm gonna turn the world into the Dark Ages. I'm like, I assume you're working for somebody important, but I don't know who you are, and I don't care. You're in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and you're only fighting one League member. You're not important.
The characters they focus on do not make sense, and the other characters just don't matter. So Flash, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg, I don't have much beef with them because they don't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Superman and Batman make no sense as characters. Steppenwolf makes no sense.
Yeah, and what are they going to do with Darkseid when they get to that point? Because it just kind of seems like it's going to be the same plot.
I think they basically said they're not doing team movies anymore for a while anyway.
Good. Good. They're doing what they should have been doing the whole goddamn time.
I feel like it's too late. The roots are rotten. Just start over. God damn.
Yeah. Do Flashpoint and just start over.
Don't even do that. Just literally, nobody will care. Please, just start over. Superman 1. Or Batman 1.
Just do a bunch of one-offs.
Right.
Just do a bunch of weird Elseworld stuff. Movie fans want the weird and obscure, They want to see a weird space movie with a half alien person. They want to see a talking tree fight people. Do the weird shit. Do something interesting. I don't need to see fucking General Zod for the 4th time. I don't need to see.
But what if he's a woman?
I forget his lieutenant's name.
It's I think it's Ursa in the movie, but I don't know if it's that in the comics.
Yeah. I can believe that.
I was just joking. But
I still though, I don't need to see all this stuff. Do Red Sun. That would be a fucking good movie.
No.
I think it could work.
No, because that's something you do after you've established the character of Superman in general.
We know who Superman is.
No, we do not. Not this Superman.
Yeah, fuck that Superman. We know who everybody knows who Superman is. It's like, we don't need to see another Spider-Man origin. We know who he is. We know how he got his thing.
Well, I'm not saying do an origin movie, but I don't know. So they're doing Shazam is coming out next, which is connected to the DCEU.
I know, and Shazam, I have the slightest inkling of a hope for that movie because in the entire trailer, I don't really see a whole lot of CGI.
It looks fun. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, I have the slightest inkling that it'll be a good movie.
But my point is, it's connected to crap.
It has stank on it.
They're doing that. They're doing Wonder Woman 2, which I kind of want to see because, I like the first Wonder Woman. I like Gal Gadot as a character. I like Kristen Wiig. She's going to be Cheetah.
Okay.
But like, and they're doing the Joker solo movie that's not connected to anything, and I'm like, after that Joker movie comes out,
Yeah, they're doing the Joaquin Phoenix and what's his name's, right?
no, they're not doing a Jared Leto Joker movie. They are doing Birds of Prey. Which
They
is
need to
have...
establish what the fuck that is.
Well, they're doing that.
They need to establish the characters that go into that shit first. It's just going to be Suicide Squad again.
It's going to be Harley Quinn, Black Canary, who else? I don't know.
Let's see, Birds of Prey is, Harley Quinn. I want to say Ivy.
I don't think she's going to be in it.
Batwoman. Harley Quinn. And Batgirl?
I don't care. But just start over. And I guess they're going forward. I didn't put that in today's news, but they're going forward with the Matt Reeves Batman movie, I guess. And it's going to be like a young Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, just do that. Just have it its own thing. Don't connect it. Don't connect it to this garbage. Just make solo movies.
You know what I rewatched a couple days ago? Return of the Caped Crusader.
I love that movie.
I miss that Batman. I love that movie the second time around. God damn, is that a fun movie?
Yeah, it's great.
I miss the Batman that was in there. I don't need that Batman every time, but just a Batman that I know is a good person. You know?
Well, like I said, they're doing a Batman prequel movie. The villain's gonna be the Joker. Not Joker, the Penguin.
Oh yeah, because they did that one-off line of, remember when, wind up exploding penguins were a thing? Like,
I'm like, I've made it well known. Batman Returns is one of my favorite movies. I love Danny DeVito's Penguin. I do not like any other version of the Penguin. I like that one. So I do not care about a comic-accurate Penguin. I don't care about a fat guy dressed in a suit.
Yeah, I mean, I like... So, side note, watching Gotham as a television show is...
You watched that?
I'll get to it. But watching Gotham as a television show is really hard for me to do. Because it goes from, oh man, this is really interesting, to, oh god, I don't fucking care. Ooh, this is really interesting. Oh, this is stupid. So like what I do is I go on YouTube and I watch the villain's character arcs as like and it basically winds up being like an entire episode long worth of story content. It's like 42, 45 minutes long, and they're really fucking interesting. But when I watch that show, I just get bored. Because Jim Gordon is boring.
How far in are you?
I know what they're doing for the new season, and it's like the last season. I kind of want to get in on it, but I just prefer watching like the one-off character arcs.
Yeah, I fell out of that show, but I'm like, it looks like Gordon's wife is like a villain now.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Out of a morbid curiosity.
Yeah. I mean, I like what they did with the Joker. They did New 52 Joker right off the bat, and now they're into classic Joker, and I'm fine with that. Is it stupid? Fucking A, it's stupid, but I'm fine with this.
How's the Riddler in that show?
Fun.
Okay.
I mean, so yeah, he's fun. He's not gay. He has an ex-wife or something, but the Penguin, who is gay in this, keeps trying to go after him to see him, and he just keeps fucking the Riddler's life over, and so they just kind of wind up going at each other's throats all the time. It's fun to watch.
I thought I heard there was like some kind of romance between the two of them. That's not the case?
I don't know. It could be. But I'm not really sure.
I feel like the Riddler could be gay.
Yeah. There's no reason why Cobblepot, can't be gay. And he's a weird little dude hell-bent on money,
The only reason why they wouldn't work is because they're clearly both bottoms.
Two bottoms don't make a top.
Yeah, doesn't work. I'm just saying. Penguin's clearly a power bottom. It's clear as day.
He does love positions of power.
Yeah. All right. I don't know why I thought that was funny.
I don't know. You're. It's like the same thing with the slut thing. It was weird, and I tried to save you.
I'm like 2 for 2 with the weirdly offensive, not named jokes.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you today. It's weird. Like, you've never done this before.
I don't have anything else to say about Justice League, really. My head hurts right now.
Let me go through my thing. Superman's costume is more blue than it is in any of the other 2 Superman movies.
Yeah, they color corrected it.
It's fucking weird. And it also reminds me, the color correction in this movie is not good.
Well, everything was fucked with after the fact. Like, I don't know if you remember the first trailer or first images, but remember that scene where Superman comes back from the dead and the Justice League are sitting on those steps?
Yeah, and he's in his Superman suit.
Well, no. Well, maybe. I don't know.
In that little clip, he is.
Well, originally it was at night. And then this one it's during the day. Like, just a bunch of weird bullshit.
Yeah, like his suit's more blue, probably to make you like him more. You know? But the color correction is weak, because like color correction is just like a thing that happens with every single movie you watch. It doesn't matter if it's like a low budget thing or high, but it's just something that you always have to do. The Flash's costume straight up looks yellow several times in this movie.
Because of the Speed Force.
But the Speed Force is white.
No, it's not.
It looks... Oh, no, it's blue.
No, it's not.
It looks blue! There's all the lightning coming off him is blue. It's
whatever the scene says it is.
That's also true.
Yeah, so there you go. Bringing logic into this like a dumbass.
But yeah, like, I don't know if it was like accidental or they were trying to get you to be like, oh, you know, Reverse Flash is always something that's, you know, gonna haunt him. Which I'm not gonna give this movie credit for being that smart.
Yeah, please stop with that.
But like, it's just weird because you're watching this, you know, bright red Power Rangers looking dude, and then suddenly he's yellow. And he's red again. And it's just fucking strange.
I think Batman's suit looks like crap because it's clearly filtered with the light or something.
Yeah, Batman's suit has never looked good in the light.
Well, especially not this version.
Keep that shit in the dark. So the whole mustache... Oh, you go ahead.
For making another terrible joke, just because that was a theme in this video now. When you said keep that shit in the dark, I was going to say, yeah, like gays in the closet.
Good God, man.
I don't believe, but now I'm in this mindset of I gotta keep furthering this joke.
What is wrong with you today? This is weird. It's funny. It's funny for me. But I want to see how offended everyone who doesn't know you is.
I want to see how unlikable I can make myself in 1 hour's time.
Yeah, I mean, if you were sexist or homophobic, you wouldn't be my friend, but we've been friends for like 10 plus years. Oh, this is funny for me.
Oh my stomach is hurting. Okay. Yeah, the movie sucks.
I have nothing left to say about this movie. I have said everything that I wanted to say, which is almost like it's like a new thing for the past few shows, because I'll like sit down and go, oh, I wish I said something, you know, or said this thing I thought. But no, like I'm just scrolling through the text and trying to think back on everything. I have said everything I've wanted to say about this movie.
Do you remember when Aquaman was walking out of the bar like a badass and Icky Thump was playing?
It was weird. It just reminded me of Suicide Squad.
It's very weird because it never happens again. There's no other outside music in the movie.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, why Icky Thump of all songs?
Because it's awesome?
It is an awesome song, but you know, like, why are they doing like an immigrant song on a guy who's a fish man?
Speaking of immigrants, build that wall, right?
Oh my god.
That's my closer.
Oh, bravo. Bravo, man. That was fucking funny. Oh, now I'm sad.
Our country's a mess. Anyway, so what's the next movie?
Oh, so you probably know what's happening. You probably know what's coming.
Yeah, because you're not slick.
I'm not slick, and I cannot be slick if you did the same exact thing, to me, because like, you got me good.
Mm-hmm.
And I as soon as I did, I'm like, he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
But I watched the Brendan Fraser The Mummy, and goddamn, is it still a fun movie?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can totally believe that young Indiana Jones just like ran right into him, just like, hey, how you doing? And just like fucked off. Like I just feel like this happens in the same world as like, Indiana Jones, and just having a bunch of fun with the paranormal and a mummy. It's so much fun. We're gonna watch the Tom Cruise one.
So, for those who didn't listen to last week's show, which nobody did, but I texted Kate asking if she had seen Aquaman. And I didn't see it, I don't care. But I only asked so I could be like, oh, well, did you see Justice League? Trying to gauge if she'd seen Justice League so she couldn't guess what the next movie was. She texted me today saying, hey, I watched the Brendan Fraser Mummy. It still holds up. Have you seen the remake? Why the pretense? It's so, and then I started getting in my own head. I was like, it's so obvious. Surely that's not the movie. Like, surely that's a red herring.
Oh my god.
Like, actually, it's Garbage Pail Kids. But no, we're watching The Mummy. Great.
Yeah. I mean, you hurt me with this movie.
Where can I even find The Mummy? Is it on HBO too?
It is on HBO.
Damn it. Alright, whatever. Can't be worse than this.
Oh.
I mean, surely not, right?
I've heard scathing things.
Okay.
I know.
I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we will see what happens when Ethan Hunt fights a mummy.
You're saying it like it's a bad thing. I kind of want to see that.
Right? Wouldn't that be cool? Like, it's just Mission Impossible just lost its fucking mind.
All right.
Yeah. See y'all in whenever we get that next episode out.
Yep.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.